to Shri Piyush Goyal, Honorable Minister of Commerce and Industry.
So only one individual could keep a hall of Honorable Minister, 1,000 odd people pretty much awaited for a session with you because it is with you. And so it's the last session of the evening, and we are sure we are going to end at a very, very high. Thank you for being with us, Honorable Minister Shri Piyush Goyal, the Honorable Minister for Commerce and Industry of the Government of India. We have always had the privilege of working closely with him. And today, sir, the theme of the summit is building trust. And we just wanted to salute you for trusting trusting Indian industry and trusting CII and letting us work with you so very closely. If one wants to list out the number of areas that one wants to thank you about or one wants to applaud you about and congratulate you about, it can be another different keynote address. So we will spare you to be inflicted with a huge amount of congratulations that's always due to you, but very sincerely, the trust that you have reposed in the type of consultations that you have had with Indian industry, with CII in every field has been just phenomenal over the last many, many years. There are many, many accolades that can come up to you. The speed at which you have been moving on trade, the speed with which you have been moving on export, the speed with which you have compared with Brett Lee once yourself, the way you had moved on Australia and other areas, the speed in which you have been entering into trade agreements. Congratulations, sir, for really leading India into such an Indian industry, into such dynamism over the last few years. So we deeply appreciate and sincerely respect the type of time that you have given. The other sphere has been your effort and your zeal on ease of doing business and promoting investment. That has been a huge area. We have seen numbers, global numbers on India being reflected so very strongly. And lastly, if I may say so, one of the areas which we were always a laggard and we were kept on being talked about by the world was IP and intellectual property, or even looking at Global Innovation Index. Again, congratulations to you, the way you have made us climb. That's again your area of work, the entire space of intellectual property. One can go on and on, ladies and gentlemen, but please do join me tonight in welcoming our guest, the chief guest for the evening, Shri Piyush Goyal, our Honorable Minister. May I now request Mr. Sanjeev Puri, the President of CII, to make his remarks, please.
Shri Piyush Goyal ji, Honorable Minister of Commerce and Industry, and my colleagues from CII, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and a warm welcome to all of you for this very special plenary session. And I have great privilege in particularly welcoming the Honorable Minister. So Honorable Minister, I'm going to keep my comments very, very, very brief because I think everybody is really waiting to hear from you. And I would in fact start by reiterating what CB had said, that you have provided tremendous leadership and you have trusted all of us and you have seen us as a partner in working with you as a partner in India's progress. And we thank you for that. There are several areas where you have been inspiring the industry, whether it's exports, make in India, whether it's global integration, whether it's startups. I think the many areas where you have engaged very deeply with us in CII, with specific groups. You've met them extensively, heard their suggestions, and taken very quick actions in many of the areas. And I think the benefits of what you have been doing are visible on how the economy is performing. It's visible in the size of startups. It's visible with the size of our export basket. And I'm not going to put any figures because I know the moment we put some figures or a target, you're going to come and change it. So I'm not going to go that route. But you're really inspired, and the magnitude of exports today. If you ask somebody some years back, somebody would have only said that I can dream of that number. Whether we will do it or not is another matter. But now it's a reality. So it's all I think a lot of inspiration from you, sir. And I think the way you have engaged with industry, the way you have given opportunity for every sector to engage with you, and very frankly, and in a manner of very open, transparent, and based on trust, discuss and put the issues, and you have objectively analyzed and taken appropriate action. I think we thank you for that. Thank you very much, sir, for your support, and thank you very much for the inspiration and the leadership you have provided to the Indian industry. So with that, I will now once again thank you for being with us. And I'm going to stop here because everybody really wants to hear what you have to say, and what you have on the table for the guidance for the industry as we go forward on whatever maybe fresh targets that you'll be putting forth today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Puri. Ladies and gentlemen, I now have the pleasure to announce the launch of the CII Center for Artificial Intelligence powered by HP. And for this, I'd like to invite on stage Ms. Ipsita Dasgupta, Managing Director, HP. Please join us on the dais. And I'd like to request the Honorable Minister to kindly launch this center by pressing the button on the remote.
In an era of technological transformation, artificial intelligence is the next growth engine for the global economy, shaping the way we work, live, and create. Artificial intelligence can boost productivity, efficiency, competitiveness, resilience, and enable long-term growth more sustainably. AI is no longer an option, it is imperative. With India's vast talent pool, thriving innovation ecosystem, and growing digital infrastructure, India has a unique advantage to harness artificial intelligence as a force multiplier to enhance competitiveness, drive inclusive development, to create contextual and scalable AI solutions for the world. The power of AI comes with responsibility to ensure transparency and trust. The Indian industry, especially MSMEs, need handholding and guidance to deploy AI at speed, with solutions tailored to their needs and local environments, while being grounded in practical use cases. Introducing the Center for Artificial Intelligence, powered by CII and HP. The Center for Artificial Intelligence will facilitate widespread adoption of AI across sectors and enterprises of all sizes to unlock efficiency, innovation, and new opportunities. Provide inputs to shape responsible and progressive regulatory frameworks for safe, ethical, and trustworthy use of artificial intelligence. Offer dedicated handholding support to MSMEs, helping them navigate the AI journey with confidence and clarity. The Center aims to make AI a national priority as a driver of competitiveness, inclusivity, and innovation to accelerate adoption and responsible innovation. The Center for Artificial Intelligence, shaping a future where India leads in AI for India and for the world.
May I request Ipsita Dasgupta, Managing Director, HP, to say a few words, please.
Thank you. Honorable Minister Shri Piyush Goyal, CB, Sanjeev, Rajiv, Mukundan, and respected guests. It's an honor to be here with you today as we talk and hear about the initiatives and principles driving Viksit Bharat. A remarkable amount of work has already been done around the key pillars of trade, resilience, innovation, and inclusion. And I remember, Honorable Minister, when I had come to meet with you, you'd asked us to do work with startups and to do work with MSMEs. And to that effect, the CII-HP Center for Artificial Intelligence was envisioned to focus on 4 key areas: developing AI strategies for India Inc., promoting AI adoption, advancing AI development, and ensuring a safe and secure use of artificial intelligence. One example of driving adoption of AI with inclusion in mind is the EI immersion workshops that the center has done in partnership between HP and CII, held across India in 15 cities where we've already covered 7,000 MSMEs. These immersion workshops enable hands-on experience and experimentation for MSMEs to use AI to be more productive and profitable. Being an engine that makes up 30% of our GDP, the MSME sector is what will power India's growth. And thus, the center started with the MSME segment. Global surveys show that India is the most optimistic country when it comes to AI. Where many parts of the world believe that AI will replace, the Indian population believes that AI will serve. This, combined with our ability to adapt technology to suit our needs, as we've seen with the India Stack, will make us a global AI powerhouse. So now is the time to lean in. We are very excited today to launch the CII HP Center for AI. Thank you.
Thank you, Ipsita. Ladies and gentlemen, and the moment that we've all been waiting for. I now have the proud privilege and honor to invite Mr. Piyush Goyal, Honorable Minister of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, to address us. Sir.
Thank you very much, madam. My good friend, President of CII, Chairman and Managing Director of ITC Limited, Mr. Sanjeev Puri. My very good friend and somebody I've always looked up to as a fellow chartered accountant who has brought a lot of pride in our profession and a lot of glory to all the work that chartered accountants have done in the country. President-elect Mr. Rajiv Memani, Mr. Mukundan, former President of CII, the pillar of India's industrial and economic growth story, and my dear brother Chandrajit Banerjee, somebody whom we look up to as the permanent Under-Secretary of the types we used to have in the Yes Minister series. Presidents will come and go, but Chandrajit Banerjee holds CII together. And he keeps us in check also. But truly somebody who's passionate about India, about his motherland, somebody government trusts to be a voice of reason, to be a bridge between business and government. And I truly look up to his very sober and sage guidance on many issues from time to time. Thank you for all the good work you've done, Chandrajit. Keep it up. Excellencies, all the distinguished captains of industry who are in the room today, all the very distinguished members of CII, I see a lot of young friends, and that really is very, very satisfying because that's been on top of my agenda every time I came to CII, that we should become more inclusive, we should get more of the younger people, the next generation into our industry bodies. And lovely to see so many young friends here today, friends from the media. And I see a little bit of an inordinate interest amongst the media about my presence here for a change, for a variety of reasons on which I have no control. ladies and gentlemen, it's about 7:15. I've attended a lot of your programs of CII, but I must compliment you that this is probably one of the most well attended annual business summits in a long time. In a way, reflecting the India story of 2025. The fact that today this business summit was opened by none other than Shri Rajnath Singh Ji, the Honorable Defence Minister, shows that Indian industry, Indian business, and the people of India collectively stand with the country, stand with the government, stand for Operation Sindoor, and are committed and passionate about our sovereignty, the nation's integrity, our fight against terrorism, and Indian industry will not be found wanting anytime anybody tries to even raise a finger on India. Thank you very much for all your support. The Honorable Prime Minister rightly said that Operation Sindoor not only brought the whole nation together, but also became a symbol of Atmanirbhar Bharat, became a defining moment for our defense manufacturing capabilities under the Make in India program, showed to the world what India can do, and also demonstrated to the world that India is a responsible nation. India is a nation that can stand up for what is right and will never flinch a moment when it comes to the safety, security, sovereignty, and dignity of 140 crore Indians. I think it is also a moment of pride for us that we are well on track, as the IMF has projected that by 2027, India will be the world's third largest GDP. It is also very appropriate that despite all the turbulence, all the volatility, uncertainty, and complexities that the world is going through, and I think that was the subject of your previous session, we continue to be the fastest growing economy in the world, and we continue to power global growth through growth in India. And friends, all of this is only possible when we work to a mission, collectively have a vision, when we are all aligned in our commitment to Viksit Bharat at 2047, when we shall celebrate 100 years of independence. It can only happen when you trust the government and the government trusts business and the people of India. It's a two-way traffic. In fact, I still remember when we came out with the Jan Vishwas bill a couple of years ago, where through one act of parliament, almost 42 or 43 laws of India were suitably amended to decriminalize over 180 sections, which were in some way or the other a burden, a compliance burden, a threat of criminal action on businesses, on the people of India. In our effort to promote ease of doing business, to promote ease of living, we've been continuously making life for businesses easier, reducing over 40,000 compliances, decriminalizing several laws, removing nearly 2,000 laws from the statute book, In that effort, when we came out with the Jan Vishwas bill, the Honorable Prime Minister suggested to me that the bill should reflect the trust between the people of India and the government of India, the mutual trust. And that is why the name was given Jan Vishwas Now Act. And for those who are from other countries, Jan is people, Vishwas is trust. It's reflective of the people's trust in the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, in the work of the government. And it's reflecting the fact that we are decriminalizing, the fact that we are promoting self-certification, the fact that we are encouraging businesses to come up with suggestions to make their businesses easier, the fact that we are working towards making people's lives simpler is reflective of the government which trusts its stakeholders. And therefore, when we talk of building trust, it's a collective effort of all of us. Ideation, implementation, it's a process. And I must say, CII has played a very important role in this journey. We are blessed to have the support and encouragement from different areas in which the CII is continuously engaged with the government, acting as a bridge between your aspirations and our actions. And therefore, I think the effort that the government is doing, the effort that we want to promote, for example, as was just mentioned by Ipsita, the fact that artificial intelligence is something that we all recognize and we can all see galloping towards greater adoption in the country. CII has played an important role in helping us not only skill people, not only skill MSMEs or industry, but also understand the regulatory framework that will be required, also helping us assess its impact on businesses, on employment, on the needs of skilling or the reskilling that many of our professionals will require, the retraining that would be required in many organizations. And that's what will lead to not only responsible artificial intelligence, but will also lead to embracing technologies to work more efficiently, to work smarter, and get the best output in the interests of the people of India. And I think growth through trade, growth through a resilient economy or resilient supply chains, growth through innovation, all of these will be incomplete until we can promote inclusive growth. And therefore, friends, I would like to briefly touch upon what this government over the last 11 years has focused on. Many of us in the room will clearly remember the 2013-14 period when we were being looked down upon, looked down as a fragile five economy. The world had almost written us on almost every macroeconomic parameter. We were in trouble. Whether it's growth, low growth, inflation, high inflation, foreign exchange reserves depleting rapidly, matter of concern. When it came to banking, I think the story is etched in all our minds. Public sector banks were losing money of phenomenal amounts. And we all know the kind of non-performing loans, and difficult conditions in which the Indian banking system found itself. And all of us in business recognize that a strong banking system, large foreign exchange reserves, rapid growth in the economy, control on inflation, these are all the building blocks of a successful growth story of an economy that wishes to reach the benefits of development at that point of time to 1.2 billion people. Prime Minister Modi took 3 tracks in his vision to promote the India story to the world. On the one hand, he got cracking on strengthening all the macroeconomic fundamentals, strengthening the India economy, the India growth story, our ability to navigate difficulties, our ability to withstand challenges, crisis, and quickly got the Reserve Bank of India to look at targeting inflation on a 4% plus minus 2% band, mandated Reserve Bank for the very first time, making inflation a part of their responsibility, primary responsibility, which by the way until 2014-15 was not the case. It was a part of their job, but they were not mandated by law to focus on inflation the way we did as soon as we came into government. Prime Minister Modi started looking at the twin factors of growth, infrastructure and investments in infrastructure, leading to investment-led growth, and consumption and ability of the people of India to consume, to demand goods and services to lead to consumption-led growth. And on this twin track, started building up the country's growth story such that for the last 3 years now in a row, we have been the fastest growing economy, large economy in the world. And I dare say for the next 30 years now, we will continue to be the fastest growing large economy in the world. His second pillar, friends, and of course, this journey has led to a growth in the region of 6 or 7% on a sustained basis. We hope to edge it up to 8%, and this is at constant prices. On a nominal US dollar denominated GDP growth, we are nearly 9.5, 10%, because our foreign exchange, our currency has maintained stability. And even in the case of international upheavals, we have been amongst the better performing economies amongst the emerging markets. Today we sport the world's 4th largest foreign currency reserves at about $690 billion, more than twice what we had inherited. Our inflation story, I think for the last 3 months has been below 4%. And I think the Reserve Bank has done a phenomenal job over the last 5 or 6 years in maintaining a good balance between liquidity in the market and between the interest rates and currency management that we have seen. Of course, the stock market, and of course, the stock market is not the only barometer, so kindly don't hold me to this. But by and large, the stock market discounts the future. And if we look at the 2014 to 2025 period, the stock market has probably grown 300%. It should be a 4x plus. If I remember correctly, and my memory doesn't fail me, somebody could probably use Chat GPT or Grok or the good old Google if you still use that. But I think the Nifty was probably at about 5,700 or 5,800 when we came into government in 2014. You must be a big investor. From 5,700 or 800, anybody found the number so far? CII slow ho gaya bhai. We are today at what? Nearly touching 25,000? My maths is not wrong. Show me one comparable case in the world which has given this kind of a return on a large base of companies over a sustained decade. I remember reading a report by one of the advisory companies firms in Mumbai, which had looked at the returns that the stock markets across the world have given over the last 20 years, 30 years. And we were right on top of the chart. And we are not dependent on 1 or 2 or 10 or 20 scripts. Our returns are nearly 20% CAGR over probably a few hundred companies over the last 20 years or 25 years. And which is what makes India a compulsive investment destination. You've seen the FDI numbers, they've consistently been breaking records. Saw a little slowdown for a year and a half. The last number I saw was again back to $81 billion. We are back on track on the growth trajectory, and we are working through international trading relations. A free trade agreement concluded with UAE, Australia, UK, the 4 EFTA countries, Switzerland, Norway, Iceland, and Liechtenstein. Well on track in our bilateral trade agreement with the United States of America, making fast progress with the European Union 27 nation bloc, launched the New Zealand negotiations. The minister just sent me a message yesterday, looking forward to our meeting in Paris next week, where I'm leading a large business delegation, and then onwards to Italy, and another business delegation going to Switzerland, who have come, the EFTA countries have committed $100 billion FDI into India in the next 15 years. $100 billion FDI will translate to nearly $500 billion, will crystallize $500 billion of investment with Indian partners, debt, and all of that put in. And then we'll create a large ecosystem around it of possibly another $500 billion. So we are not aiming small, we are not looking small. And by the way, this doesn't include the Norwegian pension fund investment into the stock market. This pure play FDI. And it's the first FTA in the world to have such a clause. I'm told other nations are now starting to think the way India thinks. I'm only trying to tell you that economy and the pillars of the economy we are building up for all of you. On the second track, look at the international image that India has built up today. And that is on the strength of decisive leadership. That is on the strength of 1.4 billion people, providing a large market, providing a large pool of talent, skilled manpower, providing a destination which can grow at scale, both for the domestic demand and with competitive manufacturing, provide goods and services to the world at affordable costs. A country which is today able to navigate every crisis, every challenge, and convert that into an opportunity, into a benefit for the people of India. I'm sure when you go anywhere in the world, the Indian passport today gives you a respect that I suspect none of us would have experienced 10 or 15 or 20 years ago. This international recognition and interest to work with India also gives us a great driver of the India growth story. If I can recount at least 12 or 13 nations who have in the last 3 months come to India with large business delegations and are now looking to us to provide the investment opportunities, are looking to all of you to collaborate with, to have joint ventures with, to work their technologies in India and become a trusted partner that India is seen as in their effort to have resilient supply chains. And therefore, this international recognition of your strengths, your abilities, and the India growth story is something which will hold us in good stead. Our effort towards sustainability, our focus on clean energy, renewable energy, our commitment as a responsible global player in the effort to leave behind the world as a better place than what we have inherited. All of these are being recognized by the world. Just today, somebody mentioned to me that renewable energy coupled with storage for the peak hours is now available in India at 3 rupees 30 paisa per kilowatt hour, amongst the lowest in the world. Solar, wind plus storage. Now, it's a compulsive case for data centers to come to India. Where else in the world will you have such a large interconnected grid with such low cost clean energy available to power data centers? Our effort to promote electric mobility has started bearing fruit. And this is something which, once we reach the inflection point, will have a galloping effect as more and more people recognize that it's not about sustainability alone. It's an economic case. Today, public transport, whether it's a taxi, whether it's a bus, or a logistics related truck, tempo, or pickup van, doesn't need any subsidy to convert or change over to the electric mobility ecosystem. On its own, it's a compulsive business case for all of us to adopt. And given that we now have plug-in hybrids as an option, we have range extenders or vehicles which have different models on which people with low usage, mid usage, or high usage can select what kind of mobility they want to move to. We see huge business opportunities presenting themselves, and it'll be only ourselves to blame if these international opportunities we miss out on. And I would urge all of you not to lose our focus on greater engagement with the world, not look up to the government for everything. We have to stand on our competitive and comparative advantages. That is what is going to make India a big force in the world. And the last pillar on which Prime Minister Modi has focused his energies is inclusive growth. How can we ensure 140 crore Indians today have all their basic needs taken care of? His focus for the last man at the bottom of the pyramid, the persons, the families who have remained deprived, marginalized, suffered for generations, have the right for a life of dignity. And that is what Prime Minister Modi has demonstrated through action. Whether it is to make sure that no child ever sleeps hungry in our country, adequate food grains and foodstuffs for every person, becoming self-sufficient and self-reliant for our food needs, trying to make sure every person has a good home, pakka ghar, where his children, his or her children grow up, where the families have quality of life. We already provided about 40 million homes to the poorest of the poor in our first 2 terms. In the third term, we are hoping to add another 30 million homes, provided free of charge to those who have lived a life of indignity for years and years. 25% of the population of India would have received a free home by 2029. 25% of your brothers and sisters. Our effort is that everybody, every person in the country should have a proper home. A home with 24 hours electricity, with good quality water flowing in from a tap available at home. Digital connectivity reaching the nooks and corners of the country, and high quality digital connectivity. You've seen the fastest rollout of 5G at scale in India, faster than any other large country. The idea is to connect villages. The idea is to connect the nation with a network of high quality roads, highways, expressways. Expand the rail network, both to meet the needs of logistics and industry, and the passengers and the people of India for their commute. Airports near every habitation, every area. We have grown to from 74 airports in 2014 to 158 airports today, hoping to grow to 225 airports in the coming few years. The idea being that connectivity, food, clothing, shelter, free healthcare for 700 million Indians through Ayushman Bharat, and quality education and skill development to empower 140 crore Indians. The basic needs, once they are taken care of, opportunities available for people of different caliber and different skills. We have one of the lowest unemployment rates today. Everywhere I go, people are saying we don't get people. In fact, farmers are also complaining they don't get labor now. I started a skill development center thanks to CII and run by CII in North Mumbai, my constituency. We've been running job employment camps, job fairs. The last time I visited, there were 5,000 jobs on offer of all types. 2,500 applicants only. In less than 8 or 9 months, nearly 12,500 or 13,000 people have already received a job there, and yet many more jobs available. We are now running a campaign to educate people that please come here, you'll get a guaranteed job. And if you want to upgrade your skills, you'll get a guaranteed free of charge skill training thanks to CII. There's so much happening. So much happening. And the effort is no child in the country should remain deprived. Everybody gets the basic needs of life taken care of. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is building the trust of the people of India in the India story, in the India at 2047 story, is building the confidence in the people to aspire big, to have ambitions which transcend the normal. And on these three pillars, strong macroeconomic fundamentals, a nation respected across the world as a trusted partner with whom the world wants to do more business, where we are respected, where we are recognized for our work, and a nation of 140 crore aspirational Indians. On these three tracks, ladies and gentlemen, we are preparing India for Viksit Bharat 2047, a developed nation, a prosperous nation, where speed, skill, and scale will define our journey, our growth journey. And capitalism will coexist with socialism so that we prepare for the integrated development of every human being. The core of my party's philosophy, the ideology with which the Bharatiya Jansangh was formed, which today is the Bharatiya Janata Party, was integral humanism. A human being is defined by an integrated development of every element of his life. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what the Prime Minister has worked for. The integrated development of the nation, the integrated development of 140 crore Indians, leading to our own contribution to the world, which we look upon as our family. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for this very inspiring session where you clearly articulated the transformation India has seen since 2014. And I think as people in the industry, we very clearly see that it's very visible. And you very clearly laid down the growth drivers for the future, the competitiveness, the possibilities of global integration. I think many opportunities going forward. So it's certainly very inspiring for all of us. I know it's very late and you've been having a very hectic time, but still I'll seek your permission for just one or two questions. So I'll first pass on to Mukundan for his comment or question.
सर आपने तो बहुत विस्तृत में बात किया कि सबका साथ सबका सबका विकास और सबका विश्वास, ये इसी बात से आपने शुरुआत की. तो आप जब एफटीए के बारे में सिग्नेचर के लिए बाहर जाते हैं विदेश में, और हमारे वल्नरेबल जो सेक्टर्स हैं उनके और कैसे आप उन लोगों को बोलते हैं कि भाई दिस इज नॉट वेरी इज इन इंटरेस्ट ऑफ देम एज वेल एज अस. एंड सेकेंडली आई थिंक यू स्पोक अबाउट दिस इज नॉट जस्ट अबाउट ट्रेड बट अबाउट इन्वेस्टमेंट, and investment in where India needs the technology. How do we position ourselves more in that direction?
सबसे पहली बात तो जब हम विदेश में बात करते हैं, कोई फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट या बायलैटरल एग्रीमेंट करते हैं, हमें ध्यान में रखना पड़ता है कि ये दो तरफा एग्रीमेंट है, दोनों को लाभ होना चाहिए और दोनों को जो दिक्कतें हैं उसके ऊपर हमें रिस्पेक्टफुली, सेंसिटिवली बिहेव करना पड़ता है. तो स्वाभाविक है कि जब हम कोई भी देश के साथ बातचीत करते हैं तो कोई ऐसे विषय होते हैं जो हमें प्रोटेक्ट करना है, हमें प्रॉब्लम है, डिफेंसिव इंटरेस्ट है, कुछ ऐसे विषय होते हैं जो सामने वाले के लिए तकलीफ के हैं, उनको समस्या है। तो उसको नॉर्मली अगर आपको एक सक्सेसफुल एग्रीमेंट करना है जो लंबे अरसे तक आलोचना ना हो लेकिन लोग स्वागत करें, उसका लाभ ले पाए, तो आपको दो तरफा चिंता करनी पड़ती। You have to be sensitive to the other person's concerns and you have to be articulate and firm on what are your concerns. That's your defensive position. Agreements done with complementary economies, where the partner country or set of countries are not competing with you in more than a few sectors, are always easier. So when I do an agreement with a developed nation, by and large, I know that we are more labor intensive, we are more focused on people, they are more focused on technology. We have a young population, they have an aging population. We have a large pool of talent, they are looking for that talent. So you normally look at convergence, and that brings speed to negotiations. After all, India is now known to be amongst the fastest countries to finalize trade agreements. And right now, as we speak, we have 9 or 10 engagements parallelly going on. So sometimes in the course of a day, I also have to refocus that in the morning I'm talking to one country, the afternoon I'm talking to a group of 27 countries, and in the evening I'm talking to maybe a country in Latin America with completely different perspectives. So it's a period of time which is exciting but pregnant with opportunities. And I think if we miss the bus today, you may not always get that chance again. And therefore, we are working with full sincerity. We are looking at fair, equitable, and balanced trading relationships and agreements with countries of our interest, with complementary economies, with economies where we have good things to offer and they have good things to support our growth story with. So therefore, it's a great time for India. This period is going to define our growth story, and this period is going to be remembered years into the future, that Prime Minister Narendra Modi laid the foundation of Viksit Bharat or Viksit 140 crore Bharatvasi.
I think, thank you, sir, for that comment. And I think in industry, all of us do resonate with the view that the FTAs that you have done in the recent past, you have led, and the FTAs that you're focused on now are the ones that will really be mutually beneficial, where there will be a lot of synergy and there's a lot of opportunity there. And we are all looking forward to it. Let me now pass on to Rajiv for his concluding comments.
Yeah, I'll just maybe I can just sit here in the interest of time. But firstly, I would echo what you talked about FTAs, and I know that the amount of effort that has gone into building these, and sometimes I know the honorable minister's frustration in getting feedback from industry, and and then so that he has enough, he's armed enough to be on the negotiation table. He doesn't need that much of ammunition, but so that he's adequately armed to negotiate a fair deal for India. But in spite of that, I think he makes personal calls, personal efforts, and I've been witness to the meetings that he has had on these, where he gets into the bill of material and all those things before you to understand, so that he can fully appreciate, understand, and challenge at the same time. And also a lot of areas of in some of these areas, a lot of areas of controversy, of challenges, whether it's QCOs, whether it's other things, where he has very fiercely put India's point of view and has taken a lot of challenges from some of our trading partners. But I think I must compliment you, and I also must compliment you for the speech today. I think it was really an outstanding remarks that you made. There are two or three things that I would definitely would want to capture. I think what you talked about trust, and I think in the afternoon we had a very eminent past president who talked very elaborately about how trust has been an article of faith for CII, and it's something where we need to have a much more proactive posture so that we build and emphasize on this much more. And he did, and I think for all of us realize that we need to build, industry needs to build far greater credibility going forward with government, so that we can move as true partners, trusting each other, and that's also the fundamental essence of ease of doing business. And in many ways, Operation Sindoor is a great example of Make in India, and how the partnership between government and private sector is a great shining example. And if we can take this forward, I think it not only does it serve very well for India, for our defense forces, but also is a great economic multiplier. So thank you very much about talking, and the way you covered the remarks. If I was to look at, as I was reflecting on what you were saying, not only in the last 11 years, the focus on building an economic resurgent India, and laying down, most importantly, laying down a very strong foundation, as you rightly said, for the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, a very resilient India, and also a very equitable India. And I think that's the fundamental essence of what resonates very well with CII, and is something that we are looking at getting into. So thank you very much. And thank you also very much for always trusting CII for the partnership that we have built, and also lots of luck going forward with some of the most interesting FTAs and discussions and conversations that will coming up. So all the luck and all the strength and all the support to you. And industry is standing shoulder to shoulder with you, and any support that the industry can provide, that CI can provide in any of your deliberations, we'd be more than delighted to provide. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Memani. May I request President CII, Mr. Sanjeev Puri, to kindly hand over a token of appreciation to the Honorable Minister. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. With that, we come to the conclusion of day one of the CII Annual Business Summit 2025. We look forward to seeing you all here tomorrow again. In the meanwhile, like I mentioned earlier, I'd like to invite all of you to join us in the Rani Bagh for dinner, drinks and music. So we look forward to having you all there. See you soon. Good night and thank you.